He pilots the Shuttleworth Stamen Racing number 23. He's originally from Raymond, Washington, and he's our next guest here on Getting Up to Speed. We're talking about Devon Borden. Borden, the current point leader at Port Royal Speedway in Pennsylvania, talking about his move to Pennsylvania, what it's like to race in Pennsylvania, and much, much more. That's coming up next after these messages. Dave's Home Supply specializes in cabinets, flooring, and countertops. Visit their website at daveshomesupply.com to look at products, services, financing, and even a free estimate. Are you looking for bookkeeping, payroll, or income tax services? Then check out the folks at For You Simple Bookkeeping. They are a licensed tax preparer throughout the entire United States. For more information, click on the link in the description. This broadcast is brought to you by Meat Freaks Jerky Club. Get the best jerky the world has to offer straight to your door by visiting meatfreaksjerkyclub.com. Pick your box and plan, tell them where to ship, and receive and enjoy. Log on to meatfreaksjerky.com and use promo code SPEED. Well, joining me on the phone for Getting Up to Speed, it's Devon Borden from Raymond, Washington. And Devon, currently the point leader at Port Royal Speedway in central Pennsylvania. Devon, it's great to catch up with you. It's been a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Well, talking about 2023, you're once again driving for the Shuttlesworth Stamen Racing number 23 team. You've procured 5 wins so far this year, 10 podiums, 31 top 10s, and around 50 starts. Not too bad of a year for you guys, and I also believe you guys had a podium run with the Outlaws when they were in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we did. The year's actually gone really well for us. Obviously, we got room for improvement, but I feel like we're on track to being a top guy in Pennsylvania, and obviously that's a really good thing. And we're just working hard to get better, week in and week out, and just building to be great. And that's really all we're trying to do, But overall, I feel like we've had a pretty good year.
Well, in Port Royal, again, leading the points there, 3 wins in 2023 at that facility. I mean, that's a joint that Logan Wagner has basically took ownership in. But for you guys to really get some good runs and obviously some quality results and some victories, that says a lot about what your team's capable of doing.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, for the people that know, it's the people that do know that my team is definitely a top tier deal for sure. Everything that we have is definitely second to none, and we definitely got some quality stuff thanks to my Colin Sean and Kelly Stamen. And overall, we got an awesome team. Jim Shellsworth on the wrenches, Mike Danner, Jeff Weaver, Cream, just all my guys work super hard, and we definitely got a whole good deal going, and I definitely want to be able to do it without all my guys, and I'm just really thankful for them.
September, they call it the month of money for Pennsylvania. Some big shows coming up for you guys, and I'm sure you're excited for it.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I guess the biggest race I have my eye on is the Tuscarora 50. As good as we've been up at Port Royal, I feel like if I'm going to win a big show, I feel like that's probably the one that I have the best shot to win. And I'm definitely looking forward to that race, and obviously all the races that are coming up. Like you said, lots of money to win, and there's a time to get rolling. This is definitely the time. So I think we're going to be on our A game, and hopefully can put it up front.
Is there anything this year that's happened, whereas in years past with this team, that you feel like just things are different, or is it just that comfortability level has increased because of just the longevity of you and the Stamens have been together?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of everyone working together, and me and my crew chief working together and just getting comfortable, and it's just a whole combination. People don't realize that you could take the best driver and the best crew chief, and it might not work, and you might not see the results, and it really just takes a whole team, having each other's backs, and just working together more than anything. And I feel like that's what we've got on top of. And we still got a long ways to go, but yeah, I mean, I really just feel like we're on the right track in that department for sure.
Well, for folks that are listening to this that are familiar with you in the Midwest or the East Coast, as sort of now a Pennsylvania driver, and they might think, wait, why'd you say Raymond Washington? That's where your roots were. Your dad, Glenn Borden Jr., one of the all-time greats at Grays Harbor Raceway, and your grandfather, Glenn Sr. It's really cool to see somebody from, my native Northwest do so well in a completely different geographical area.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I'm living full time in Pennsylvania now, so I guess Pennsylvania is almost more my home. But I'm originally from Washington, so that's what I still say. And I'm I like to think of myself as part of the kind of posse now, but at the same time, I kind of want to still fly that Washington Northwest flag. So.
Yes. The green flag with the George Washington's portrait on it.
Yeah. Yep.
What do you remember? Well, I guess basically walk me through the timeline. You're racing in the Pacific Northwest. Had some really good runs. One at Grays Harbor Raceway during the Fred Brownfield Classic, and then all of a sudden you're moving to Pennsylvania. What was that journey like?
It was definitely pretty crazy. I mean, my dad and I knew that this was obviously where I needed to be to become a professional race car driver, I guess you could say. And really, my dad kind of put all of his eggs in one basket to get me back here for a few races to basically give me my shot. And luckily, everything worked out. We were literally in here for, gosh, I don't know, like 6 races or something. And just in that amount of time, I got a couple of calls and ended up getting in the Mike Hefner-owned 27. And it was definitely pretty crazy how quick everything happened. And, big part of it, of why it all happened was because of Don Ott. He helped us out in a big way and actually loaned us a 410 and came and wrenched on our car and got us dialed in. And I think if it wasn't for him, I don't know if I'd even be here now. So, it's just that everything happened extremely quick, and I'm very thankful for everyone who helped me get here.
Well, and the Hefner 27, that's a pretty iconic Pennsylvania ride. Names that come to mind, Greg Hodnett and Darren Pittman were in at one point in time in those cars.
Yes, they were. Yeah, it was. I mean, when I got the call from Mike Hefner, it was a pretty surreal moment for sure. And I mean, just to be in a car that all of those famous and legendary drivers were in was pretty neat.
Well, and then tell me about how everything came to be with the Stamens. What was that process like, and how did that phone call happen?
Yeah, it just kind of slowly happened. I met with John, and they basically wanted to know if I was interested, and it ended up being a super great deal for me, and really just something I couldn't pass up. And just was a deal I had to take, and it's been super good, and I'm just super, super thankful for them.
Well, and the tracks that you're racing at a lot in central Pennsylvania, they're a lot bigger than what exists in the Pacific Northwest. But has there been anything that you've been able to take, since Grays Harbor Raceway is a nice, big, wide 3/8 mile, any of that sort of experience or some of that reflexes, has that helped at all, kind of being comfortable on a bigger track, or is it a whole different animal?
I feel like it's a whole different animal, but at the same time, I feel like it's easier to go from a small track than it would be a big track, because I feel like the big tracks, you kind of got to slow yourself down and, just slow everything down that you're doing. You can't be jerky on the wheel or anything like that. So, I feel like racing in the Pacific Northwest really only made me better when I came back here. I just had to, kind of teach myself to calm down and slow everything down a little bit. But that being said, like, I always had that like hard driving style from racing in the Northwest. So I think that also helped me.
Yeah, yeah. And what are some of the differences that you notice? Obviously, there's probably some vast ones between the culture that's on the West Coast, Pacific Northwest, in California versus Central Pennsylvania. It seems like to a certain degree it's religion in Central Pennsylvania when it comes to 410 sprint car racing.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, the fans here are absolutely crazy. I mean, some of the big races, how packed it gets, and the amount of the amount of fans and supporters and stuff is just crazy. I mean, it's definitely kind of. I feel like one of Pennsylvania's like. I feel like it's almost a football of it's like football in Washington. That's how racing is here. So it's like everyone is into it, and everyone you talk to, I feel like is in some form a sprint car racing fan, and yeah, the whole culture of it is definitely pretty cool. That's for sure.
Well, we talked about Port Royal specifically. That racetrack is a lot of fun to watch, and it. I went to Knoxville for the Nationals, and it sort of reminded me how the cushion develops there. A lot like Port Royal, when they say running the fence, there's no curb to lean on. You're literally on the fence sometimes, and it's just like less than a foot or a couple inches away where you have to put the right rear.
Yeah, I mean, like when I first came here, I remember watching a video of Kyle Larson like a year before I even came here at Port Royal, and his right rear was literally dragging around the fence. And I was like, man, how do these guys do that? Like, that's just crazy. And then here I am now, and I do the same exact thing. And sometimes it looks pretty crazy, but after a while, I guess you just becomes natural, I guess, like you don't think much of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is definitely pretty cool, and I feel like it's definitely pretty exciting for the fans.
Well, and it seems like such a cool facility too. You got the houses off the back straight away, and it I would assume they are supportive of the racetrack, which you could only hope just with the way culture changes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, everyone like around Port Royal, I feel like that's the biggest thing that they probably one of the biggest things they have going for them is the racetrack, and I mean, I feel like most people are a race fan around there, and definitely makes it pretty cool.
Well, 2023, obviously in the title hunt for the track championship at Port, and the month of money coming up as well. Some big money shows in Pennsylvania. Kind of after once things sort of cool down in your neck of the woods, is there any plans to try and hit some stuff in the fall for some specials or World Finals at Charlotte? Anything like that?
I mean, I'm hoping so. We'll see what happens. I think that the World Finals could definitely be a possibility, but I think it really just depends on how everything goes during this whole month of money. And yeah, I mean, I feel like the World Finals will definitely be something that we could potentially hit, though. Outside of that, it would pretty much just be everything in and around Pennsylvania.
Well, and I think that's something that people kind of may not realize is for Pennsylvania, it's not like a, a Pacific Northwest. I keep referencing Pacific Northwest from March to maybe mid to the end of September. It's a full-time deal where the icebreaker is what in towards the end of or beginning of February, and then you guys are rolling till sometimes almost Halloweenish time.
Yeah, I know. It's definitely a long season, a lot longer than it is out west, and really, yeah, like we only have, gosh, only like 3 months off. It seems like so.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a lot of time to get everything rebuilt and going again. But I wouldn't want it any other way because I love racing, and obviously, the more you race, the more money you can make, and obviously that's what we do. So. No, it's definitely pretty cool.
Well, and it's really cool too that it's not a deal where, let's face it, there's a lot of places, including around here, where it's just a Saturday night deal. You guys are raced, Williams Grove predominantly on Fridays, and then you got the selection of Port Royal or Lincoln on Saturdays, and then occasionally a special on a Sunday, Sealands Grove or Baps Motor Speedway. So it's really cool to get just all those reps in, and then you've got Pennsylvania Speed Week, and the All-Stars make a couple trips through, then the Outlaws make a couple trips through. I mean, like I said, 50 races, and we're not even in September yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's really awesome. I mean, this is like the place. I feel like if you're not going to be on the World of Outlaws tour, like I feel like Pennsylvania is the place to be for sure, with just how much you can race. Like you said, it's Friday, Saturday, most Sundays, and sometimes even you get midweek shows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
so
that's super cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, and I went full in with sprint car racing for the first time in a long time this year, and I can't remember a time in which it was a silly season, and now the silly season is coming to Pennsylvania a little bit with some moving and shaking as far as the rides are concerned.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, yeah, like everyone seems like they're parting ways and doing this, changing rides. Like it's just crazy. Like, I feel like I'm in a super good place, and I feel like my team and I just, all have each other's backs, and that makes it super cool. You don't really have to worry about any of that, and I feel like that's how you build the best long-term team also. So I'm definitely in a really good place.
Yeah. I think it was. I was just watching Dirt Tracker Daily, and Darren Pittman is going to be a posse again. Going to be for the Krite 69K for some select events, and going to be sharing the role with Logan Wagner when he runs that car at Port Royal. So it's just been so wild and to be honest, hard to keep up with, because for every it seems like every week there's 4 or 5 changes.
Yeah, it's definitely been pretty crazy for sure. I mean, everyone's just going, just changing rides, and it's sometimes it's for everyone it's for the better, but I think it's best if you could just stick with your team and build with them.
Well, and another question for you. I know that Pennsylvania is a long way from home, but occasionally I'm sure you get to run into some folks that are from the West Coast or have watched you race from all sorts of parts. How fun is it to kind of reconnect with people in person when you're racing in Pennsylvania from your homeland?
Yeah, it was really awesome. I made it home when I was at Elmo last Saturday, and yeah, it was really, really cool. I felt like, I saw a lot of people that I hadn't seen in a couple of years, and I feel like just everyone is still supporting me in a really big way, and it's just really awesome, to be able to be completely back here and everyone's still kind of supporting in a way their hometown kid, So it was really cool. And I went over to the quarter midget track and saw those up and coming racers, and it was definitely pretty cool. I'm hoping I can make it home more often.
Yeah. And for you in central Pennsylvania, when you're not racing, which we just discussed, there can be very few days that's not happening. What are some things that you've found yourself doing that you really like to enjoy? Is there certain restaurants or certain activities that you've taken up?
Honestly, like I'm at the shop pretty much full time, and at least from 9 to 5, 6 o'clock. And really, the only thing I've been doing lately is I get off work, I go to this MMA gym, been training there, just learn some skills and stuff, and it's a great workout. I do that, and then I go lift weights at the gym. So by the time that's all over, it's usually 10 o'clock, and I go to bed. So all I really do is sit here at the race shop and then working out. That's about all I do.
That's really cool, because I would probably agree with you. Working out, doing physical activity kind of keeps you mentally focused and mentally sharp.
Yeah, definitely. And, people don't realize it, but being a sprint car driver, like, you got to be in super good shape. At least for me, that's what I've found.
Yeah.
There's guys that are good that aren't in super good shape, but for me, I'll fall out of the seat if I'm not. So I definitely take my fitness super seriously, and I feel like it's just a really important thing to being successful,
Well, and racing is a very humbling sport, much like MMA or wrestling, in which the yeah, you can win, but there's a lot of times that you're not, and it's kind of, keeping that mental zen, or however you want to label that, of, hey, I lost today, but I'm not going to lose tomorrow, or what can I do to make myself better? Do I need to work harder on this or that? And it, like I said, it's a real humble thing, but at the same time, it makes you mentally strong. You got to be mentally tough.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's what it's physically, mentally, everything goes into this to make you good. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely just a really, really big part of it.
Yes, I mean it'd be very easy. You're leading a race and you get your doors blown off, and you just freak out and you're not hitting your lines and you're all over. You're like a newborn baby giraffe all over the racetrack. But that
Right.
mental toughness comes in of like, okay, I got to get up on the wheel a little bit here. What's he doing? We got to regroup. So I think
Yeah.
that comes into play.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I feel like there was a point in my career early on when I was kind of like that. I was kind of radical and um, wouldn't wasn't very patient, and sometimes get past and then start driving stupid, and then you only go back further. So I feel like that's one thing I've developed on and I've gotten a lot better at. Obviously, I got a lot of room for improvement, but that's what it's all about. Just trying to get better all the time.
No doubt. We all have places where we can improve and work on, but that's wonderful. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time, Devon. I know you're a busy guy and you guys are gearing up for a big weekend in Pennsylvania. Before I let you go though, as far as team news or results, or perhaps somebody might want to buy some apparel to support you and the Shuttlesworth Stamen Racing number 23 team, what's the best way people can do all that business?
Yeah, you can follow me on Facebook at Devon Borden Racing. You can get my merchandise at devonborden.com. And you can follow our racing page at Shuttlesworth Stamen Racing. So
Ah,
appreciate all you guys a lot.
awesome. And then I know you mentioned the Stamens and all your crew and everything, but I'd like to give you the floor again to thank them or thank individual sponsors that keep the 23 car in operation.
Yeah, I really just got to thank all my sponsors, Traco Heavy Industrial, Mountain Ridge Metals, uh, uh, Pat and Son, JR Vinagro Hauling, uh, Triple X Race Chassis, FK Rod Ends, Donut Racing Engines, just everyone who helps us out, and obviously all my crew, John and Kelly Stamen, my Connors, and Jim Shuttlesworth, Mike Danner, Jeff Weaver, and Cream for everything that they do.
Well, awesome. Best of luck, Devon, and I hope that you can achieve more and more success throughout the season, and really looking forward to the Tuscarora 50, as well as the other events that'll be coming up, as well as that championship battle at Port Royal Speedway.
Yep. Alrighty. Well, thank you for having me on the show.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, it's been great catching up, Skylar. We wish you the best of luck. It's so cool that you're gonna be back in Big Sky Country, and I hope everything goes well for the rest of 2023. And we'll try and catch up with you before 2024 starts.
All right, man. Thank you.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the interview, race fans. Again, be sure and hit like, subscribe, and get the latest and greatest news, whether it's getting up to speed, inside NARC, or Sprint Car News today. If you subscribe on the YouTube channel, it'll get you those notifications as soon as all the new episodes come out. In the meantime, everybody have a great rest of your day, night, whatever time you're listening, and we'll be back next time with more stuff from Highside Racing Promotions.